money like cashier. Get the money like a cashier. Customer, clientele. I was broke, that was last year. Getting money like a cashier. Get the money like a cashier. Benjamin, nothing less. I was broke, that was last year. Don't change 'em. I never switched up. Been down since day one. Stay social. People change, don't. I never switched up. Social currency.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Dope Black Thoughts Live. My name is Kevin Cox.
I'm Marcus Ivy.
And we have a special guest in studio with us.
I'm Kat.
Kat, Traylor, nice to meet you.
So, real quickly, new day, new time, obviously.
Yeah.
Changing up some things. So, just get started in a little bit of a different format as well. So, anyway, what we talking about today? What's today's subject?
Muting your phone is the subject of the day today. Now, today's subject is going to be the state of Aurora.
And as we all know, Aurora has been in the news quite a bit as of lately. But I guess the key factor here is not to confuse Aurora as being bad. But there are some things out there that we have to deal with. But I think we're up for that. But we're just happy to have Kat here. Talk a little bit about that. So we're just going to turn it on over to you, Kat, and let's go. Let's go.
All right. So, the state of Aurora. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me now? So let's talk about that. Let's talk about and unpack some of the recent dealings and comings and goings of the city of Aurora. So I think what I want to start with is not the Elijah McClain case, although that's not done and over, and we still have no resolution there. But I want to start with the young black family that was pulled out of their vehicles on mistaken identity and laid face down on the hot pavement. I want to start with that because for that, that was not only heart-wrenching to watch, it proves to us what we as black folks already knew, that there is an absolute breakdown in our system. And regardless of what we do as black people, we're going to be demonized by those who are set to serve and protect us. So that's where I want to start with. I want to start with that.
All right. Well, so here's an interesting fact here. If you Google Aurora, Colorado, guess what comes up first? That very story. Unfortunately, that story pops up. But I shouldn't say unfortunately, because I think it is fortunate, actually.
Yeah, I think it is fortunate. And I think we have to be willing to face the ugly sides as well as the pretty sides of what we're doing in our city. We're not in touch with reality. We can't fix anything, make anything better. So that's where we start. We start with acknowledging our mistakes and talking about steps we can take to overcome them.
All right. So what happened, Kat? Tell us what happened.
Well, so it happened, and I think at some point, or at least from the camera angles that we have, it would appear that the police officers realized they were being recorded. They asked some of the bystanders to move back so many feet because they were obviously, they felt like they were impeding the investigation, is what they said. And they did that, and then all of a sudden, we see them kind of have some humility and start picking these children up off the ground and asking them if they needed to sit up. But please be aware that by the time that happened, these children and this mother of these children, I believe some of them were her nieces, were laying face down on the hot pavement. Now, I'm a pet owner. I have dogs. I love my babies. There are days in Colorado where you are given advisories to not have your babies out on the hot pavement because the pavement is too hot for their little feet. So we know that dogs' paws are designed for them to walk around without shoes on. So I can only imagine what it would be like to put your stomach and your face on hot pavement. I don't know what that's like.
Well, let me just pop up in here as well. I've actually been face down on hot pavement as a result of stop. But anyway, that's another story for another time. But this family was headed to get their nails done. Brittany Gilliam was taking her 6-year-old daughter, 12-year-old sister, and 14 and 17-year-old nieces to get their nails done. And we've heard all types of stories. We heard it all over. That it was a motorcycle, the same plate, different vehicle, all of this. At the end of the day, none of that even matters to me due to the fact that even on a high value stop in the sense of a stolen vehicle where guns are pulled or not pulled, doesn't really matter to me. The point is you took a 6-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 14-year-old, and a 17-year-old and decided it was proper policy to put them face down on hot pavement. I can start there and end there. Everything else really is irrelevant to me at this particular point in time.
And you know, something else that really caught my eye was I believe it was the youngest girl was screaming for her mom. That's something I'm really getting tired of seeing. It's black people screaming for their mom while guns are pointed at them. That's getting old.
Yeah,
Just
that's
a little note.
So George Brockler, who is currently the district attorney for the 18th Judicial District, stated that he is willing to take a look at all the evidence of the incidences. His statement was that if the officers committed a crime, he said, and I quote, "I will not hesitate to file charges and prosecute them," end quote. So that's a quote directly from the district attorney of the 18th. Here's my other question. Other incidences that were involved where it's clear that officers have committed crimes, how come you haven't made the same statement of looking at the evidence, and if a crime is committed, that you would indeed file charges? So, not to get off subject, but just want to throw that out there just for food for thought.
So here's my thought with that, Marcus. I'm questioning if it's something that we've. I don't know, and I'm not the lawyer here in the room. You are, but so I'm curious. Would this be a circumstance where we would actually look to file charges, or would we look for disciplinary action that would result in them no longer being on that force?
Yeah. Well,
because from my perspective, and I'm not the lawyer here, but I don't see, and I've looked at this for a long time, for several days now. I don't see where we have criminal charges that can be passed in this particular instance, right?
Right.
But I do see where there's absolutely an opportunity to remove these folks from the force so that they are no longer working actively in law enforcement.
Well, I'll tell you. I mean, if that's appropriate, so be it. If criminal charges are not appropriate, so be it. I can see. And what's yeah.
I got a second instance of it.
Yeah.
Close both of them. We're going to